Previously on The Walking Dead.
It's time to see Negan.
You know what keeping Negan alive means to us. I know what seeing him dead means to her.
Please, you don't have to do this. I forgive you, man. Take him to the bridge. It ain't ever gonna hold him. He'll get washed out to sea.
No, man, I'm not sacrificing the bridge. I'll find another way.
Damn.
All right, hello, and welcome to an all-new episode of Talking About Walkers, the Walking Dead podcast. I am one of your hosts, Kinte, all the way live from Los Angeles, California, and I'm so happy to be here with you tonight. This is was supposed to be a sad affair, but it's really not. It's a celebration, I guess, of life. And we're going to talk, obviously, a lot more about the events of tonight. But let me introduce my wonderful crew. Of course, I'm going to start off with the one and only Olaf Barbosa. How you doing, Olaf?
I am doing fantastic. It's been another great day in the wonderful state of Indiana. And let's see. Let me turn on the video here. Will show. Let me flip the camera around. As you can see, I'm outside right now. I happen to be at my assistant's house. Hi, like wave at everybody. Say hello.
Hi.
Hey.
And enough of that. So, I am now one house down. I sold my house last week and got moved out of it. So I figured out in life, I have actually come full circle in life. You know, when the shop was going good and, you know, I used to spend a lot of time at the shop and I almost lived there. Well, now I do because the other house isn't ready yet. So I'm living in my office.
Well,
but it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Started a new job and it's like the third day of training today and exciting. It's like, good things are happening.
I'm so happy for you, man.
Except for tonight's episodes.
Well, I'm glad that you are here, and I'm excited about talking about the show tonight.
Awesome.
Also joining us is the one and only Jen. How you doing, superstar?
Really, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Kinte. I actually have to tell this like little tiny itty bitty story here. I anticipated that The Walking Dead tonight was going to just be a full-on emotional ordeal, that I would be so sad that I wouldn't be able to hold myself together. And so I'm on this super, very low carb kind of eating lifestyle. And I made myself a giant, huge pan of carbohydrates and cheese, macaroni and cheese. And now I feel like I don't know if I should eat it or if I shouldn't. I don't feel as sad as I thought I was going to, and yet I still want to indulge. So I feel like that's sort of the message of the episode as well.
I can help you with that sadness thing.
Yeah, I think you should all come over and just have a whole bunch of this. You save me from myself.
Josh is still dead.
You didn't even get his name right. It's Justin.
Joe, it's Joe.
Justin, that's what I said. Yo, that dude's still dead. Joe.
Jason, right? That's his name, Jason. Right?
I'm so glad I have such a wonderful, supportive crew here. This is awesome. You guys are just, I know, in the zombie apocalypse, I'm pretty sure you guys would be the ones stabbing me in the back.
Yeah. Yeah,
No, we're gonna be the ones. We'd be tying your shoelaces together so you trip and fall a lot.
Yeah,
and,
right?
Like,
yeah, human bait.
Yeah.
It's
like gotta have somebody for bait.
Whew, okay, well, I'm still glad I'm here with you. So whatever that says about me, whatever it says about me.
So let's get into it. Let's get into this episode. There's no reason to dick around. The episode was called What Comes After, and basically it's the continuation of last week's episode, the Obliged. And So where we left off at was Rick was impaled by some rebarb, looking like he's about to get eaten up by some zombies. And essentially what we got in this episode is a long parade of death. And we got a long parade of Rick bleeding, and every moment looked like it was going to be his end. And then we saw some characters that came back to say goodbye, and except for the two characters you would have expected he would have saw. But anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. So let's get right into it. I mean, and there's no reason to beat around the bush. Let's focus on the Rick Grimes aspect of it. Before we get to ultimately what happened in the very end, let's focus on the people that he saw in his dreams, or whatever you want to call it. Let's start off with Shane. Now, obviously, we're supposed to take from each one of these encounters something. And I'm going to start off with you, Jen. The Shane encounter, what did you take from that?
Shane is the pillar of courage. Shane is the pillar of go do it. Get out there. Don't be afraid. Tackle it head on. And I think that Shane being the first one that he saw was actually really important too, right? Because courage is the first thing that he actually needed in order to move forward. Also, is it sad? It is sad. It's so sad to say that I sort of wish that they could have had that on the show. I mean, like, everything always felt so contentious after he was gone. And I am really sad that we didn't get to see that kind of back and forth between the two of them. I felt like that was so telling. I liked it. I really liked that particular encounter was actually really good.
Did we take from that scene that was confirmation that Judith is actually his child? Is that the way the writers you think are?
I thought about that, and I don't know if that's confirmation or if it's in Rick's mind confirmation. That is what Rick thinks. I don't think that we could take any real confirmation from it. I don't think we could take anything like, oh yeah, this is what the showrunners are trying to tell us. I think because Shane is an invention in Rick's mind, so it's reaffirmation of Rick's subconscious saying Judith isn't yours. But he did also say she doesn't have your nose. So maybe he has his own little doubts. I don't know. But it felt very much to me like that's what he was saying. Like his subconscious was saying, I don't care if she's mine. Whatever he knows, he knows. Does that make sense?
No, it makes really good sense. I don't know. For me, but my thing is more. So, do you think that's the writer's way of giving the definitive? I'm sure they're going to probably put it out there somewhere, or they're definitely going to be asked. Are we supposed to take that as definitive proof that is?
Well, I don't know if you would call that definitive proof, or if they're still wanting to allude to, well, maybe it's his, maybe it's not. It still lends to that whole, well, everybody thinks it's Shane's, and Rick thinks it's Shane's, but is it really Shane's?
Here's the thing: if what we are taken to believe, if the writers give us confirmation that really is Shane's baby and it's not Rick's, and we're left with no ambiguity, then the Grimes family is no more. Because even if Judith Grimes, in name, stands up and takes on her father's mantle and wears the hat, there really is no more Grimes family in terms of just the familial blood, right? If we are supposed to take that being a Grimes is something more than blood, is about your spirit, is about your conviction, is about your attitude toward your fellow man, then that may be that carryover. It doesn't matter whose blood you are. Anybody can be a Grimes as long as you are like Rick Grimes.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. That's something I hadn't even thought about in such a long time. And this episode kind of brings that back up. And I like the fact that they threw it in there, with the conversation. And, I like
it's their unfinished business. I mean, that everybody who dies tries to figure out their unfinished business before they die. It is the cornerstone of folklore around the world that ghosts stay here and haunt because they have unfinished business. And as Rick is going through all of these different flashbacks, or not flashbacks, as he's going through all of these different stages where he's seeing people and experiencing things, he is settling his unfinished business with the world. And to me, that is one of his biggest unfinished business pieces, is dealing with, does it matter if Judith is his? And the answer is no, it really doesn't.
No, because that's the, like you said, the unfinished business. He never got to confront Shane about it directly. So in this episode there, they get to have that conversation. He gets to call him the asshole because of all that, and they kind of laugh about it and go on. But like you say, he gets to finish that business, gets that conversation out of the way.
Yep.
So yeah, that makes sense. It makes perfect sense.
Another a great cameo is Herschel. Of course, definitely due to the fact that not only because it was great for the show, and the fact that they were able to get that in before he passed away was pretty awesome, and he looked great too, by the way.
He did.
Scott.
Yeah, he did.
So how do you guys take this encounter between Rick and the significance in Herschel?
Well, I personally see Herschel as being the emotional core of who Rick later sort of went on to be. Like, the shaping of Rick emotionally was very influenced by Rick. And you know what was funny? What was funny is the unfinished business seemed to be something about forgiveness, because Rick didn't think that he had done a good enough job, and that he was sorry about Maggie and sorry about, but how Herschel says to him, no, what you have to understand is that everybody is stronger because of you. And I there was something really resonant about that. It was really actually very powerful, way more powerful even than the Shane piece, because I feel like it carried so much more weight, not just because of who it was that said it, but also because of what it really meant to Rick. Like, that was all of his heart sort of all on his sleeve at one time. You know what I mean?
Right. Because his conversation with Shane, Shane was trying to say, you dig deep and get that rage so that you can go on. Now you need to wake up.
Right.
And then with Herschel, it was not, you need to dig deep and get that rage. With his conversation with Herschel was, you need to dig deep and get that strength that you showed everybody was good, and it made them stronger, it made you strong, and made them stronger. And that was his way. Or in other words, like you say, Rick was asking for forgiveness because he thought he didn't do enough, and Herschel gave him his blessing that, no, you did a lot more than you thought,
and honestly,
everything's okay.
And honestly, let's just take a moment to actually realize what Rick's subconscious is telling him at that moment. And despite the fact that even at that moment, he is bleeding out and dying, trying to corral a herd of walkers away. There is something, it's beyond the pale for me in terms of how to describe what kind of moment that is when the hero becomes this sort of I'm not good enough, I need forgiveness, I haven't done everything that I should. In the moments when he is being good enough, doing things that probably nobody else even would do, that there's just, I mean, if they wanted to set Rick up as being the ultimate sacrifice, they really did a good job, because
Yes.
that's exactly what I got from it. I felt that to the core.
Right. And it's like, I mean, they set him up for a true hero's death.
Mm-hmm. What about Sasha? What do you think the significance of the scene with Sasha? Which I thought it was very interesting. I wonder though, like, why Sasha? Why not Lori? Well, we'll get to why not Lori or Carl, but we'll save that for later. But why Sasha? You think?
Oh, that's a good question. Olaf, do you want to try that one?
I'm not really. I'm not really clear on on Sasha, other than, again, it was about strength, and his leadership made everybody stronger, but it wasn't as pronounced as Herschel's. I kind of didn't really understand that too well for her.
I think that Sasha's appearance in Rick's dying subconscious, whatever you want to call it, had everything to do with the fact that Sasha is probably one of the most, or had been the most, analytic might not be the right word, but pragmatic of all the characters that I have seen. And the kind of wisdom that Sasha was able to impart, I think, to Rick in his subconscious moment was sort of not negated. What is the right word? There was this juxtaposition between what Sasha was saying and what was in front of them, right? A sea of bodies. And I mean, for sure, I don't know if anybody else felt this, but when I saw the body with the blonde hair, I immediately thought of fallen characters. I felt like fallen characters were everywhere around in that sea of bodies.
Well, they were.
Yeah, Carol's in there.
That's like you saw Rosita, Carl.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. I
Lori,
think even the ones that we didn't see, like even the ones that that's what I was saying, not the ones that we did see. So the idea of having Sasha tell Rick that this isn't the end, that the end is all of us, to me felt like, well, and I guess also I should back up and say, if we all sort of think back on what was important to Sasha, I feel like she was maybe the only voice that could have told Rick that he is a part of everything, not everything. As in, like, how long has Rick felt like he is the only thing that holds things together? How many times have we actually seen that happen? How many times have we seen Rick think that he's the linchpin for everything? And for anybody, but specifically for Sasha, to say, no, you're just a part of everything. You see, everything dies. But it's everything dies, and through everything dying, things can live. That's a hard message in a post-apocalyptic world, especially where life and death where everything is so tenuous, right? To understand that life goes on because death happens is, and where the dead roam the world as an added layer. I think probably only the Sasha character could have said to him what he needed to say. Now, I guess maybe I should say, maybe some other characters could have, but I don't know if they would have had the gravitas, so to speak, to say it to him. I don't think Laurie's there's too much emotion in Laurie. There's too much other baggage in other characters. But
well, now, it's like, in bringing that up now that it's like with Sasha, there's a lot of it, a lot of her stuff was about there's family. I mean,
Yeah.
she was kind of family, orientated too. And Rick, each time one of these visions, in other words, it was all about, I have to find my family. I got to have the family needs to be together. And it's like, wasn't Sasha, didn't she have kind of that same bond of the family tie type stuff, more family friendly?
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I would love to hear what the writers said, but I I'm not sure if that's actually what that was about. I because I think it was who it's interesting.
Well, it's why I
It's
said
sort of who would make each
yeah,
piece make sense.
that's
You
why
think you
that's why
think
I
this
said I was a
girl?
little confused.
You think this girl on the screen is supposed to be Beth?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I also let's be honest. It's a practical reason too. These are people who they were able to get back for
And
the
that. That's
so
true.
we might be reading a little too much into it.
But I mean,
yeah.
it's like as far as getting, Rick's Lori back. I saw her in Atlanta last week, so I know she's still around.
But
No,
we also
she might be
heard
working
the
on
voice
something.
of Abraham, right? We also heard the voice of Abraham in this episode.
Yeah. I mean, she could have been working on something, or they didn't want to pay her.
I mean,
She might have wanted more than they were willing to pay.
yeah, let's not break the fourth wall that much. We'll just go with our own interpretation.
Oh, you want to lie to the people? She wants to lie to the people.
I did. You know what I did? Of all the scenes that were Rick's reconciliation scenes, that is the one to me that was the most both emotional and cornerstone of letting go. It was at that moment that I thought, oh, maybe they really are going to kill him. Maybe I've been wrong all this time, and he really is going to die. Because at that moment, I felt like what the show was telling us was, not only can we go on without Rick, but humanity can survive without a Rick Grimes. That it is okay for the rest of the world to continue on without a, in quotes, Rick Grimes. And for a moment, I really thought that was going to be the end. Like I had completely switched my thinking that they weren't going to kill him. So,
What do you think about? I mean, I got it on the screen. The what they ultimately did.
I don't like them
ahead.
for it. It's like I'm sorry they set him up and like they made him live. No, there's still that doubt that you still have that he could come back. He could show up again. No, he was supposed to die and be done. I didn't like that way of ending it myself. I was like, not that I want to see Rick go. I mean, he is an important character to the story, but when they're setting this up for the last, since this all started, that this is going to be it. This is his last episode, and they let him live because they had him set up for a hero's death, and the whole exploding of the bridge and everything else, and everything that led up to that would have been a memorial death for him if he would have been blown up on the bridge. But to be blown off the side of the damn thing and then gets picked up by the helicopter nobody's seen, really? No.
Well,
I'm not thrilled about it. I don't like it.
If you see this on my screen, it's been confirmed that AMC story of Rick Grimes will continue in the series of movies. So it's not over for Rick Grimes.
I had a feeling that that's what was going to happen.
It's like just when you thought it was over, it's going to be 3 movies.
Okay,
Jen,
yes,
Shane's still dead.
Darn it. That's okay. I have him as the Punisher. It's cool. Okay. I actually wanted to address something sort of last time that we had the podcast, but I saved it for this podcast. the Walking Dead universe is, at this point, it is so expanded, especially with Fear the Walking Dead and the crossover with Morgan and the Fear the Walking Dead group. The universe for the Walking Dead is now much bigger than I think any of us would have anticipated. Even the people who read the comics, who might know, a little bit about things that happen that maybe the show doesn't sort of cover, ideas about other places and stuff. What I didn't expect was that they would make use of the Walking Dead universe in the way that they have made use of the Walking Dead universe. And in some ways, I think that letting Rick live was actually really smart on their part, not just so they can go have movies, but also because if the people, everybody that is near and dear to us on The Walking Dead right now believes that he's dead. They will have no reason to think that he's alive. So there is zero chance, unless some other crazy thing happens, that they will hear something from Rick and go, oh, he's still alive. How is that even possible? On the other hand, as the viewer, we get to see the hope of Rick Grimes continue to move forward. That is, in the zombie apocalypse, there can still be a Rick Grimes moving forward. And again, it goes back to that pivot point where I thought, oh, okay, they're telling us we can get along without him. Knowing that this can continue, not knowing this can continue, knowing that the world that Rick built can continue, that's a big deal. For the viewers, I think it's a huge deal. I don't know if it means a lot this season to people, but I do think it might mean a lot to people in the coming season. Does that make sense? I hope that I explained that properly.
No, it makes really good sense what you're saying. I don't know what to think of it, to be honest with you, from a storytelling point of view, from a whatever point of view. We'll see what happens.
I loved it. I loved it. I absolutely, I did not want them to kill Rick. I was hoping, and I think I even mentioned something about them keeping it very ambiguous. I'm glad that they went down that road. I don't like the idea of ending such a huge aspect of what made The Walking Dead The Walking Dead. That did not feel right to me. Whether he was going to exit or not, whether there were going to be movies or not, I don't care. Having him leave, just so pretend we don't know that there's going to be movies. Having him leave and having it be something on the note of hope is, to me, so much better than all of the outcomes that we have had with other characters where they have all left in a kind of very sad finality. And for Rick to get that hero send-off where he gets to live despite everything else that has happened, that to me feels like we have honored the character properly by not killing him, because this is The Walking Dead. The world is all about death. So the fact that he doesn't have to die means something phenomenally big, and only we the viewers get to share in that knowledge. Nobody else gets to know. Well, okay, one other person gets to know, but none of the people that we know on The Walking Dead are going to know, just us. I feel like that's sort of amazing.
Yeah. I guess.
Shane and Justin are still dead.
Oh, goodness
As
gracious.
long as what's his name, Jason, Josh,
the guy.
whatever that guy's name, as long as he's dead, I guess that's all that matters.
we should really take a moment though to talk about Maggie and Negan. That was so huge.
we are, but
okay.
I just wanted to get that out the way. And then before we get into that, let's talk about this time jump.
Ooh, that was cool.
You think so?
Yes.
And so it went from blonde hair to brown hair.
My kids all did that too, though. That's pretty normal.
Right.
Yeah. And they weren't bothered by Shane either, so I think it's pretty, yeah.
It didn't do nothing for me. I was just kind of like, I don't know. I mean, it was just like, wow, there's Judith.
I liked it because there's no good way to pick up that story and drag us through all of that. That seems cruel to us as the viewer. So I liked it.
I mean, if it was done well, I mean, you can do
You didn't think it was done well? What did you think was wrong?
No, I said no. I'm saying you said drag us through that and all of that, and I'm like,
oh.
Yeah, I was like, if it's done good, you can do anything pretty much.
I don't know that. I'm not sure if that's even true. I don't know if. See, I think that what's happening is that. Oh boy, that I know this. That it becomes such a weird pivot point. But at the point that we're at now with no Rick, if we don't do, or if they didn't do a time jump ahead, my guess is that people wouldn't want to continue to even bear with it because everything that we know that did exist is now not in existence. Basically, everything is all turned upside down. So it's sort of the perfect time for a time jump.
Oh,
because
wait a minute. Wait, hold on 1 second. You're gonna love this picture.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Hilarious. I figured you would like that because you're a big Tolkien-ite.
That's actually pretty hilarious. That is.
All right, go ahead.
Love the hair.
Olaf.
Now I forgot what I was going to say.
That's so funny. When I saw that, I was like, oh, I got to show that to you, Jen.
Also, don't you think that the appearance of Judith also is just like further issuance, like I said before, about how how Rick gets to have a legacy, and that we wouldn't get to see that legacy if we didn't have the time jump. I mean, it would be years and years into the future before we even understood how Rick had affected everybody. And this way, we get to see it really quick.
How far is that jump? But in other words, like you said, as well.
How far? I think I read it 6 years.
Okay. And her being there, because you don't see, in other words, everything blows up and we're not sure what's going to happen, like in the next couple of episodes. But, having Judith, like you say, kind of keeps the interest, like, okay, what happened to everybody else and why is Judith out here running around in the woods by herself, shooting, and a dead shot with all these walkers out here, So yeah, the time jump was good because that makes you kind of wonder, like, well, how did she get there, and how did she get to be such a good shot? And how'd she wind up with Carl's hat and all that? So
yeah, I think you're outnumbered, Kinte, because.
No, it's hard for me to be impressed, I guess. I have to say, there were certain shots where Negan kind of reminded me of Olaf a little bit. Olaf kind of has a Negan vibe to him.
Say what?
I mean that with
say. Do what now?
I said you kind of have a Negan vibe look. When I was looking at Negan, I was like, he kind of looks like Olaf a little bit.
So it's like you're cracking on my Santa look, huh?
No, I'm giving you props. I'm giving you props, Negan.
So I'm looking look like Negan. Okay, well, I guess that could be props. Okay, I'll take it as props.
Yeah, I was like, okay, Olaf's looking like Negan these days. Here, let me play this clip from the Negan and what's that girl's name? Maggie. I'm just kidding, people. It's Maggie. Oh wait, hold on a second. I need to. Hold on a second. I had it all queued up. Here we go.
I want to see you in the light.
Wait, let me go.
And you can live with what comes out.
All right, here we go. I had it queued up and I messed it up. My bad.
Oh, she just gave up the keys, huh? It's a shame. She got the blade, but you You got the fire. My money was on you.
So you remember me.
Of course I do. That's why I thought you were going to win.
Good. Get on your knees.
Yeah. I remember you screaming in that clearing. I remember how much I broke you breaking open your husband's head like I did.
Glenn. His name was Glenn.
So now what? You finally come for revenge?
Justice.
Damn. Thought you'd do this a hell of a lot sooner. Take you this long to work up your nerve.
I was always going to settle this. What you did to my husband. Get on your
What
knees.
I did to him? You mean how I cracked open his skull and popped out his goddamn eyeball? How I bashed his big, beautiful brains into the ground over and over while you and his little friends watched? Is that what you mean? Oh, I used to say that I didn't enjoy killing. That was a lie. Your old man. Christ, I forgot his name again. But he was different. Killing him the way I did, ooh, that was fun. You do it. Have your justice. Kill me. It was worth it.
I want to see you in the light.
Come on. Kill me. You not have it in you? Don't you punk out like Rick.
Come into the light.
Kill me. This is what you came here for. You kill me.
Move into the light.
Kill me. Please. Please kill me.
Why?
You have to just do it.
You tell me why. Tell me. Why should I?
So I can be with my wife. So I can be with Lucille. I should be dead. I have to be dead. It is supposed to be you. It has to be you. Because I can't do it. I can't do it. I've tried. I can't. I can't be like this. Please, please don't make me stay like this. Just settle it. Settle me. Kill me. Please.
Get back in your cell.
No. 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 Why?
I came to kill Negan. You're already worse than dead.
Ooh, he's already worse than dead. Oh. Wow, that come about deep.
Whew.
Hold on a second. We have a caller. I'm gonna try to get this caller in. Hold on a second. Hello? Hey, can everybody hear our caller?
Faintly.
Barely.
Oh, okay. Let me turn it up. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine. And tell the audience who you are.
My name is Cindy Sullivan. It's been a while since I've been on.
I mean, I haven't talked to you in so long. I forgot what you your voice sounded like.
That's my long. That's my adopted daughter.
Yes. All right. You can hear everybody. You can hear Olaf, right? Yes.
Hi, daughter. I can barely hear her though.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that is. But along the audience can hear. You hear it. You guys hear enough though. So, what do you think of the episode tonight? Yeah.
I watched it. Thankfully, we had a quiet night being able to watch it. We watched it with my girlfriend's dad, and I absolutely love every bit of it.
Were you happy that Rick didn't ultimately die?
Yes and no. I had seen a lot of people like predict that that was how it was going to end, and I just thought that sounded like a really fairy tale kind of ending. And then it happened, and I was like, oh, okay. Um, I liked it. I liked that it leaves it open. He didn't just die, although I still think that where we thought he was gone, I also thought that would have been awesome, like epic going out for him.
Yeah. The bridge. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little bit like I like the way they did it, but I also part of me is wanting it should have ended there. Just because I was like, wow, that was so epic, and then you see him, and I was like, they're gonna do the fairy tale ending.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think. Look, it's all big business, and obviously, there were so many people that were saying this was going to be their last episode. With once he, so now those people are like, okay, I guess I'm gonna stick with it. Right.
I told so many people all day, like I was telling family members. I talked to my grandmother before watching it, and I was like, "The Walking Dead has been such a big part of my life." I was like, "I think this is where I say goodbye to it," and I was so ready for it tonight, and I don't know why, but it brought me back in.
Yeah. Well, it was definitely a good look for the show. So, and I'm so glad though that at least the fans seem to be happy about it. So that's a good thing. That,
Absolutely.
yes. So.
I think
Mhm,
I don't know if you guys have the trailer for next week,
mhm.
like the next 3 episodes. But they reeled me back in, and I was like, dang it, I'm gonna come back next week now.
What do you think about the time jump with Judith?
I did not see it coming.
Mhm.
When she spoke, that was when I was like, no way. And then they showed her, and I was like, I liked it because I wanted to see that for Carl. I
Mhm.
wanted to see like him take over, like if Rick did leave, like I was hoping that Carl would kind of carry on and then it would pass on to Judith. But like I see it, like they're making Judith the little badass that Carl was, or kind of was. Just I wanted to see more for Carl, but I think I'll be happy seeing it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely down with that. So, what do you think about the season so far?
Honestly, I have barely watched like actual live of the season. I've found it interesting. I haven't been as into it as I used to be. I kind of wish there was a little bit more Negan. I kind of feel like it's. I hate saying this because I also hate when people say this, but I feel like it's too much of a soap opera lately.
Right.
So there's been scenes that have brought me to be like, oh wow, this is a great episode. So like the last few episodes has been there's a few great moments, and then other times I'm just like, eh. So I was at least caught up to tonight. I was like, I've got to rewatch it all, refresh my mind, watch it. But yeah, I haven't really watched it. Like I used to watch, like you guys know, as soon as it came out, I've been so behind recently.
Well, I mean, let's just be honest. You've been out there having a good time. I see you on Instagram, booed up and all of that. So we know how it is. So, but now it's so good to hear your voice, though.
Yeah, that's my wild child.
The Roof Rider.
Yep. It's like Roof Rider rides again.
Yes, exactly. I was so upset I couldn't make it to Atlanta this
Oh, you would have had a blast right in there with us.
No, I was actually on Snapchat while I was at work, and I think Ben posted a snap with you, and I was just like wanting to cry. I was like, I miss that.
Oh,
Aw.
With a Nerf gun in the hotel room, and I told Sarah, like, I came home and I showed Sarah, and I was like, see, like I told you, we do Nerf wars. I was like, we do so much in Atlanta.
oh, yes. So we just played a clip of Negan, the clip with Negan and Maggie. What did you think about that one? That scene?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I think between both of them, I don't know why, but I loved it because I was thinking comic book wise, I was like, oh, this is wonderful. But I think their performances of like actually doing it was just phenomenal. I love the acting between both of them, and I feel like they were both kind of feeding off at each other, and I just loved it. And I don't know why, I really enjoyed seeing like Negan broke it down like that.
Mm. So you just wanted to see Negan on his knees, huh?
No. I mean, my girlfriend probably yes. But I mean, no. I think part of me, as soon as I saw him break down and heard him, he wants to be with Lucille and all that, I just loved it. It just, for some reason, it just made me smile because I was like, that's stuff out of the comic book. So it was nice to see that, even though I haven't been staying up to date on it, that they're still doing, they're paying the comic book tribute.
Now, do you guys?
That's a good point.
Do you guys think that was all legit, or was there a little bit of gamemanship with it?
I think it was legit. I don't think he was playing. I think it actually broke him. Because, like I said, he didn't want to. I thought at first that it was a play to get her to do something, to goof up, to slip up, so that he could, maybe get out or something. But then when he walked back into the cell, I'm like, no, he's broke. It's like they actually broke Negan.
Yeah. Also, at the end of the last episode, we saw Negan bashing his head into the wall as if he was trying to end it on his own. And I think that's what he was referencing when he said, I can't do this on my own.
Right.
He doesn't want to be around anymore. I think I can totally understand that. I do think that in the comics, I don't know. It's been so long, but I feel like in the comics it was a little bit more like there was more. You could kind of get the power play between Rick and Negan, and it sort of expressly felt like they were still not dueling, but you could really see that. Excuse me, that the Negan line is so. It's important to understand. Excuse me again. That Negan without power is not Negan. Like, Negan without power is just a man who lost his wife. And ultimately, in a strange way, I think Maggie understood that. Like, his grief and her grief were basically the same, and his suffering is exactly what Maggie wants. That killing him would actually be a kindness, as opposed to the long suffering that I think she honestly embraces.
Well, and she said it herself. In other words, I came here to kill Negan, but what you're going through is far worse than I could ever do by killing you. So yeah, by leaving him alive, it's more punishment to him because he doesn't want to be here anymore. So yeah, and like I said, they finally did. They broke him.
Because, in all honesty, Maggie is still just as horrible as she was before. In some ways, maybe more. I mean, maybe Michonne is happier that Maggie didn't kill him, but this idea that Maggie had some kind of come to Jesus moment in that moment is completely and totally wrong. She's just as vindictive as she was before.
Right. But do you think that Michonne might have thought, because since Michonne has been around Negan since it all happened, and they've kept him locked up, said no, we're going to keep him alive and all that, and it's to show people, that you're not going to treat us like that. Do you think that by her saying, okay, go ahead, go kill him. If you got to go kill him, go kill him. And do you think Michonne kind of thought that she would go in there and see this different Negan than what she remembered a year and a half ago, and come to her own conclusion, like going, he's far worse in this condition than if I kill him. If I kill him, I give him mercy. If I leave him alive, he suffers.
I think this was an incredibly calculated gamble on Michonne's part, because it could have gone either way, and Michonne would have had to have lived with, maybe not a guilt isn't really the right word, but with a kind of, I was responsible by giving Maggie the keys. On the other hand, I do sort of think that Michonne and Maggie had kind of like a showdown right there that said, hey, you're not my keeper. I'm not your keeper. And we have to come to some understanding ourselves. Like, would Maggie have gone through Michonne? I don't think so. But in that moment, I feel like this was Michonne's best bet for saying, I believe in law and order. Now it's up to you. You tell me. Now what do you think? But it was still so calculated on her part. I mean, it could have gone either way, right? It really could have.
Yeah. And, she wasn't going to, we know that she wasn't going to kill her, to protect Negan.
Exactly.
That wasn't going to happen. So,
yeah, well, but I think that's the point, right? That's the point was Michonne knew that Maggie wouldn't kill her to get to Negan. I refuse to believe that was even on the table. But what I think that showdown sort of said was, there's Maggie's way and there's Michonne's way, and despite the fact that it seemed like Maggie's way won, actually Michonne's way won.
Right, because like I said, I think in the back of her mind, because the whole conversation between Maggie and Michonne, you can see the rage and stuff in Maggie, and you see Michonne, tears coming to her eyes. And like I said, I think that in the back of her mind, that Michonne's thinking, Negan is not the same twisted, demented person he was. That whole thing changed him to the pile of blubbering mess that he is
right
now. So in other words, by her saying, all right, I'm going to try to talk you out of it. If I can't talk you out of it, all right, here, go kill him. And then when she gets in there and starts to try to, get him out and wants to really, hurt him, then once she actually sees him for what he is now, like I said, it was kind of Michonne's way of going, well, I don't think she's going to kill him after she sees him, because she'll see that he's in a far worse place than if he was dead. So I still think, I still would say that was in the back of Michonne's mind, that because she knew how much, her and Maggie were, they pretty good. They were fairly close, but so she kind of knows Maggie and how she thinks. So that's why I say, I think Michonne had in the back of her mind, I think she had that there, that when she goes in and sees him and what he's really like this time, that she's not going to kill him.
Well, and also I do think that this is not over. I think I think that this is sort of definitely a strange point at which all the groups are at, which is, which way is better? Which way is the way that we're going to follow? Or which way is the way each group is going to follow. And I don't think it's over. I think that showdown was maybe a little taste of what is to come. What gets reorganized? How much vigilanteism is there allowed? Is it allowed? Does it really mean anything?
So you're kind of thinking that this is laying the groundwork for what the new community or the new world is going to be like. In other words, which side of justice are you going to run on?
Yeah, and
are you gonna go in with with actual justice, or is it going to be cowboy justice? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and
which side of justice you're on, Olaf? That cowboy justice.
It's like I'll run right straight down the middle. I shoot both sides.
and I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure if we even though this standoff happened, I'm not even sure that we understand yet because I think that's the point of the time jump, right? We don't even know yet which side of justice each individual community may adhere to. We know now that they are very fragmented. So each individual community could have its own sort of system. And if that's what happens, boy, that makes Michonne's job much harder, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Much harder.
Oh, yeah.
So let me ask this to everybody. What are you guys most excited about the future of the show? Now that you know that Rick isn't going to be dead. But, I mean, go ahead.
The Whisperers.
I'd say what I'm most excited to see is the helicopter that took him away crash.
Oh, God. This isn't an episode of MASH.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what about you, Jen? You said the Whisper.
Because that's I won't spoiler anything, but what we saw in the preview is perfect. It's just such a perfect it took me a second even to realize what was really happening, and I'm so excited about it. This is one of the parts of the comic that I really enjoyed. I don't know why, but there is something so sick about what is coming up. Something so I don't know what the word is. It's just very dark, but it's real. If they do it well, it is such an excellent storytelling point. I think everybody's gonna like it. So that's what I'm excited for.
You got kind of a dark side to you, don't you?
Oh, do I ever? Do I ever? And also, I will say one other thing that I am actually really, I think, looking forward to is seeing how they progress the characters, how the actors choose to take this 6-year jump point and change either who they are fundamentally or lessons they have learned to go forward. Because we have a little bit of a taste of that. But we also know that things will definitely shift in terms of how they are interacting with the world now. So that is kind of exciting. I am actually looking forward, I think, to understanding what has transpired over the past 6 years in sort of narrative form more than anything else.
Yeah. And now we got big badass Judith to contend with too.
And Michonne's new hairstyle, which I really like. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so let me start off with you, Cindy. Cindy? So are you I know you're on Instagram. Well, are you doing anything as far as Facebook or anything?
A little bit. I haven't been on my Facebook page as much, or my actual blog page. Mainly Twitter and Instagram lately.
Okay. Do you want to plug it, or what do you got?
Yeah, absolutely. It's very difficult. Everyone always yells at me for this name, but it's always my username is always Cindy Cynthia. So Cindy, and then my actual name is Cynthia. So we just kind of added that. My friend didn't know what to call me, so she just combined them. So it's Cindy, CindyInthia. It's the same for Instagram, same for my Twitter, same for my Snapchat, all that. Anymore, I do a lot. I'm probably going to pick up a little bit on The Walking Dead. I know I've been posting a lot tonight. yeah, I'm on there pretty much 24/7. So if anyone wants to check it out, let me know. I've got a lot of sponsors. So I always post like my discount codes, things like that on there.
All right. And don't be a stranger. You know, we love you here.
Absolutely not, because they reeled me in with that next 3 episodes thing. So I don't think this will be in for me.
All right. Let's go to you, Jen. How can we get you in social media and all that?
Well, before I tell you how you can get me on social media, I just want to remind everybody that Tuesday is election day in the US. So if you can, get out and vote. It is so important. Please just vote. Just vote.
Yeah.
Okay. You can get me on social media at Following Bliss 1 on Twitter. And on the web, you can find me at moviesmakethemeal.com. And you can find my review site at criticallaughs.com.
All right. Well, it's time to vote for American Idol, right? That's what you're talking about?
Yeah, actually, please vote for Justin to come back on The Walking Dead. That'd be awesome. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Justin's dead.
He's dead. That's what I said.
Justin's dead. Shane too dead.
All right. So, Olaf, how can we get you in social media?
Well, you can stalk me on both Facebook and Twitter at Olaf Barbosa. But as I always say, don't stalk too close because I do get nervous and I do have an itchy trigger finger.
All right, that does not get old. All right, you can give me at Kinte F on Twitter, also on Instagram, Kinte Ferguson. That's KinteFergerson. And also you can go to our website, which is indyradio.org. That's indyradio.org. Tomorrow night on Men and Women Talk, the Mars Venus show, which comes on at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern, right here on indyradio.org. We will be talking to life coaches. So if you guys need any help in your life, tomorrow's the episode to call in, and these life coaches will be able to help you get your life together. I definitely need the help. And then I believe, this Wednesday, it's the finale of we're going to try to do it on Tuesday, Mayans MC. So we're going to try to do it. We may do it earlier the night of. We're going to really try to do it the night of. And then I don't believe there's a spotlight scheduled for Wednesday as of now. So, but, you know, we have a lot of stuff going on here at indyradio.org. Please check us out. I'm so happy that you guys came and check us out tonight. And look, you got Cynthia. Cynthia.
Like
can't even say her name. It's been so long, Cynthia.
Like Roof Rider.
Because you know what messed me up is the Cynthia. So now I can't even say your name now.
Oh no,
Cynthia. Yeah.
That is my username on everything. So whenever I watch video game streamers on Twitch, I love to like watch them and I'll subscribe just so they have to say my name. A lot of times they say it perfectly, although they don't.
Oh wow, okay.
So I'm just like, right. I barely anybody I meet get it right the first time, or then they really get twisted on how to say it.
It's a good tongue twister, that's for sure. Yes. So you guys, we'll catch you guys next time. You guys have a great what's left of your weekend. God bless. Peace.
Thanks for listening.